Welcome back to NFC Beast. This is the show that tackles all of your questions regarding the NFC East, and we got 4 of the top insiders from around the nation to help us do just that. First off, the slim, trim, mean fighting machine, Lou, is back with us once again. Thank you very much, Lou. Joining us from Dallas, Sam
Lost 25
Gannon.
pounds in 3 months.
25 pounds in 3 months. Sam Gannon from Dallas is here. Sam, we're going to have so many questions for you. Thank you very much for joining us.
Absolutely. It was kind of boring week, guys. I don't know how it's been for you guys over there. A little boring over here.
A little boring. We'll get back to you in just a moment. And, of course, our defending champion back with us here today after taking a week off, Breland Moore. Go Birds, Breland Moore.
Absolutely. Sorry, guys, I missed the first week. My sister got married, family things. But more importantly, I'm here and I'm ready to talk some football.
We are ready to talk some football. And out of all of the storylines that are going down in the NFC East, of course, we know that we got to start in Big D. Is there trouble in Big D? We know that the Micah Parsons trade went down last week over a summer filled with debacles. Sam Gannon, I'm taking you back to that monumental moment in time. What was the feeling on the ground when news first broke that Micah Parsons was indeed traded?
So funny story, guys. I was actually overseas on vacation. So I was in Spain, and when the news broke, it was about 11 p.m. out there. And immediately I had like 10 text messages from family, friends. And at first when I saw the tweet, I thought it was fake. Similarly to when Luka was traded, it was kind of the same type of feeling in terms of that. But no, I honestly was in complete shock, guys. I thought for sure by the time I got back from vacation that both sides would have, hammered out a deal because Jerry, as we know historically, he has not traded star players, let alone a generational talent, to which many people feel that Micah is. So fans, obviously the knee-jerk reaction, they were absolutely livid and immediately started to cite the whole Luka trade, which happened about 7 months prior.
Hey, look, I got to tell you and pick up from there, fans right here in the nation's capital were absolutely thrilled. We were damn near ready to throw parades in the streets at the fact that Micah Parsons was not going to be terrorizing quarterbacks in the burgundy and gold again this year, especially with the fact that the offensive line here in Washington needs to come together. So people here very, very happy about that. Breland, you all are going to feel this first. How did you all feel?
Listen. My very first thought was I need Jerry Jones to live forever because only he would make a move like this. This was such a bonehead move, but also it's really indicative of the culture or lack thereof in Dallas, right? When you have a player who is on social media saying, guys, I want to be here. I'm trying to get this deal done. And just the back and forth of the entire debacle, that screams to me, they have a culture problem, and it very much starts at the top. And you cannot be great when you have that drama and, division going on within the franchise. This is a problem that is going to continue forever as long as Jerry Jones is alive and well. And like I said, I need him to find the Harry Potter Sorcerer's Stone or whatever it is, so he can just be here for the rest of my life as well.
Well, right here in Washington, D.C., we know a ton about meddling owners who oftentimes get it wrong. That is the whole Snyder era that lasted here some 20 years. Lou, you all know a lot about dysfunctional franchises, at least in the last 10 years or so. How did it strike New York?
Oh, yes. We have 2 of them up here. Listen, I think he's playing great in New York because he terrorizes the Giants. He terrorizes the Giants. I said last week Jerry Jones is more interested in the headlines and the drama than Super Bowls, and the very next day he did exactly that. That's what he loves, and as you get older, it's an old man disease. As they get older, they get crazier, and he's getting crazier.
Sam, look, one of the things that Jerry came out and said immediately was that the team, in his own belief, has the potential of being better this year, but will certainly be better in the long haul for pulling off this trade. When he first said it, I thought he was absolutely nuts. I was screaming at my TV, don't lie to me. I can see this on paper. But You get a starting caliber defensive tackle who has made Pro Bowls. You get 2 future first-round picks. You free up all of this cap space. Was he crazy for saying that Dallas could improve from this?
I mean, Jerry says crazy things all the time during his press conferences. You guys might have heard that he referred to Micah as Michael a few times. Listen, I think after the dust is settled just a little bit, I think what you're seeing is more people coming out on social media saying, listen, you know, maybe this trade won't be as detrimental to Dallas as a lot of us think. Even with Micah, guys, this year, this was not a Super Bowl caliber team. Do you make a trade like this? No, I absolutely don't think you do. You do not trade away arguably your best player on this roster. But as this trade has come and gone, now you're starting to hear tricklings from the Star about, well, maybe he wasn't necessarily the best leader. Dak in his press conference a few days ago praised Kenny Clark, saying, no, we have a real man, a real leader here, and that, you know, maybe the podcast thing, that didn't sit well with some of the players. And in terms of the negotiation, guys, I do believe that Micah absolutely wanted to be a Cowboy. His agent went on ESPN yesterday and said just as much. I actually think this got a little bit personal for Jerry Jones, and I think he let maybe his emotions get in the way of this just a little bit.
That's inside information, Lou. This makes me think back to the Giants. The Giants had a generational talent not so many years ago as well. Didn't work out for them after drafting him. He wore number 13, went by the name of Odell Beckham Jr. After he had that interview with Lil Wayne, it seemed like nothing could ever go right after that. Is this that same type of situation here?
Well, listen, where have the Giants finished since Odell's been gone? How many playoff appearances have they made? How many winning seasons have they had? And I'm not an Odell guy because Odell was a problem up here. He was definitely a problem, but the players did like him. And when you start training away stars, it catches up to you.
All right. How does this, you look at a Micah Parsons in this situation, Lou, how does this impact the Giants now that he's gone?
Well, the Giants have a great pass rush. And now, for the first time, maybe, their quarterback will stand up. Because Russell Wilson would be no different than Daniel Jones. They have a very weak offensive line, especially if Andrew Thomas is not healthy. So if you're Russell Wilson, you're thrilled that he's gone. And I think it keeps them out of the cellar because I think the Cowboys finish last.
Hey, Breland, I purposely didn't come to you for a moment here because, again, the Philadelphia Eagles fans and fan base, you all are always seemingly looking pretty here. You look at this. Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, I think Lou is right. I mean, I definitely think this is detrimental once you start trading away stars. And like I talked about before, this culture problem doesn't just start and end with Micah. This is, I believe, systemic, and it comes from the top. So just continue the chaos. Like I said, I agree with Sam that it might not be as detrimental down the line, but hey, we're definitely going to enjoy this week 1 matchup here on Thursday at Lincoln Financial Field. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Bree, I was looking at it, right? Because now when you bring in a Clark, just like with the Washington Commanders, I mean, we have stacked that defensive line before bringing in Von Miller. It was like, how many 6'4", 300-pound guys can we put on one defensive line? For Dallas, they get a Clark. It's all about stopping Saquon Barkley. So from the Eagles' perspective, you put another D lineman in there, but they don't necessarily have the pass rush on the edges.
Well, you know what? Clearly, no matter what any team tried to do last year, Saquon Barkley was literally unstoppable. There was just no handling him. And you saw different teams throw all sorts of different things at the Eagles, and it didn't really matter. Saquon Barkley was still that guy, right? He broke the season record for a reason, not the regular season record, but the season record period for a reason at the Super Bowl. I mean, this man is just unbelievable, and I think the Eagles offense, regardless of who's in front of them, I mean, they won the Super Bowl for a reason. They are where they are for a reason, so they'll take care of business no matter what. But yeah, this definitely helps, I think, everybody else on this panel except for poor Sam. Sam, I'm sorry, you're going to have yourself a time covering this team this year.
Sam,
yeah, it's never a boring moment.
I think that with the Kenny Clark, I think that you all can at least do better against the Saquon Barkley, potentially force a Jalen Hurts to win the game. That didn't go so well for Kansas City in the Super Bowl, but I think that that's a thing for you all potentially on Thursday night.
Yeah, they have some depth in terms of their edge rushers. A lot of them are unproven. Dante Fowler returns as their top edge rusher, but then you have a guy like Sam Williams who's coming back from that torn ACL. They drafted a second rounder in Donovan Izaraku, who impressed during camp as well. It's going to have to be a collaborative effort. Saquon has averaged 5.2 yards per carry against Dallas. That's what he did last year. So if there's any shot in Dallas, keeping this game close, or dare I say winning on Thursday night, which I don't think that they will do, they're going to have to find a way to slow Saquon down. And to me, now all eyes are going to be on Dak Prescott in this offense, and along with first-year head coach Brian Schottenheimer, who will have his hands full.
All right, coming up, Big D going to attempt to outscore the Birds, potentially the only way that they win that game. We'll absolutely give our picks on that one, as well as the Giants and the Commanders coming up. But before we do that, we'll take a break and come back and talk about the rest of the NFC East. It's the NFC East. Welcome back to the NFC Beast. NFL season week 1, playing games for real. It kicks off on Thursday night. Huge game going down right here within the NFC East as the Philadelphia Eagles do battle with the Dallas Cowboys. We've tackled just about everything, at least on the defensive side of the ball for the Dallas Cowboys. Breland, want to talk to you about Philly now. The offense, I know that you all are anticipating flying high, but the defense has lost some 5 to 6 starters. Tell me why you all have taken a step back.
Well, if you guys are talking to me, I can't hear because someone just messed up my IFB. But I think that you're talking about the Eagles' defense right now as I'm listening to some random commercial in my ear. So I'm just going to answer that question, Chad, because I think that that's what you're asking me. I'm not worried about the Eagles' defense. First things first, we have to focus on Vic Fangio. He knows this team in and out. And some of the names that I'm looking forward to, who had really good camps, really good preseasons, Nolan Smith on the edge. I think he's going to have a really big year. Moro Ojomo, defensive tackle as well. He's really, really, really improved, and all of his teammates looking at him as the guy to really step things up here. And Jahad Campbell, the first-round pick here for the Eagles. I know that there's a little bit of concern that there's some new faces here, but he was so aggressive in training camp that they actually had to tell him to tone things down a little bit. So I think that you're going to see a lot from him. Andrew Makuba, Jordan Davis lost a lot of weight as well. So you know what? I am really, really comfortable with where they are. I think the only area of concern might be that second cornerback position opposite Quinyon Mitchell, but they'll be fine.
Lou, again, speaking on behalf of the fans here in Washington, D.C., we look at this Philadelphia squad. We know what they're going to do on offense. They'll be able to put up points, running the ball, passing the ball. But the defensive side is the place where the rest of our fan bases can potentially get happy. I know Jaden Daniels has got to be licking his chops at the potential of taking advantage of that squad out there. What's the feeling in New York? Has Philly, at least from a defensive perspective, taken a step back?
Well, remember, there was a lot of young players on the Eagles defense a year ago that a lot of people didn't know about. And they became more and more as the year went on, and Fangio and the way they worked it, they became household names. In the Super Bowl, they became household names. They weren't household names in week 1. Maybe they were in Philly, but not in New York, not in Dallas, not in Washington. And I think that'll be the same case here. Young players will come up, surrounded by guys who won a championship, and Fangio will get them in a gel, and by the time the midway of the season goes, they're going to be a really tough defense.
Sam, I think that everybody is drinking the Kool-Aid right now. They are living off of those Super Bowl moments. I think this Philly defense will indeed take a step back. The offense will be able to keep them afloat. They'll probably still win the NFC East, but I think the defense is taking a step back. To that point, as of now, the Eagles 8.5 favorites in this game against Dallas. I know you all lost Micah, but is that not disrespectful?
I don't really find it disrespectful,
Man.
guys, simply because of the fact I think there's still a lot of question marks with this team. And again, I think it speaks to, the impact that people think Micah had on this team. Now, I will say, Brian Schottenheimer, there's a lot of question marks here. His entire NFL career, he's been an assistant coach. He's unproven as a head coach. He's going to call the plays. To me, I'll say the Eagles defense takes a step back once I see what happens on Thursday night against this offense. But I'm particularly intrigued to see how this offense looks under Coach Shoddy. I want to see what Pickens and CeeDee Lamb do with that 1-2 punch. You know, I think that they're going to have to win games through the air this year because that running attack, I think it's going to be by committee. So there's still a lot of question marks with this Dallas team, so I don't necessarily think it's a slap in the face.
Breland, quickly, if you can hear me here, with those weapons that Dallas has and with you all's defense young out there, are you all going to win by, are you all going to cover 8.5?
I'm not listening to some random commercial. I don't know. This is live TV. Anything happens, right?
Anything happens. Anything happens. We'll go ahead and move on. And I want to talk to you, Lou, about your New York Giants. Of course, the storyline coming out of New York all summer long has been that quarterback position. Jackson Dart plays really well through the preseason. Reportedly, he's going to be QB2 here. Should Jackson Dart be that QB2 or should it be Jameis?
Oh, no, Jackson Dart earned the QB2. We all know what Winston is. One pass to you, one pass to them, one pass to you, one pass to them. Dart shows a lot of potential, and he's going to get better. And as long as he sits behind Wilson, say 6 or 7 games, and if the Giants are like 2-7 or 2-8, whatever it might be, I would go to Dart. I know they're reluctant to do it. They have confidence in Russell Wilson. But they'll be the first organization to have confidence in Russell Wilson in about 9 years.
Woo,
so
boy.
far as I'm concerned, by the end of the year, if they're in the toilet where we think they're going to be, then it should be Jackson Dart. He has that good an arm.
Look, Sam, I agree with a portion of what Lou says. I think that later on in the season, if the Giants are horrible, then it's Jackson Dart time there. But right now at the start of the season, you've got a whole team of some 50+ on the active roster, another 12 or so on that on the practice squad there. If Russell Wilson goes down in week 1, I want Jameis Winston coming in with a chance to win this game, not Jackson Dart. Am I wrong?
I mean, it's your opinion, Chad. It's okay. We all have opinions, right? I think if that's your future, though, if that's who you're looking for in terms of your future QB, like, let's throw him out there and see what he has. And after reading what he did through training camp, it seems like, you know, they have so much confidence in him, and I think that speaks a lot. And so if I'm a fan of the Giants, you know, I'm gonna want to see them roll him out and see what he's got, because to Lou's point, you know what you have in Jameis Winston at this point.
All right, well, that is what you all say. I'm going to still keep riding for Jameis Winston. But coming up right here on NFC Beast, we are going to see who's riding for which team as we discuss these NFC East matchups. That's next. Welcome back to NFC Beast. It's been an intense show thus far, and that is to be expected. Again, week 1 of the NFL season is upon us. Guys, it's time to pick them right now. First, we're going to begin with that big-time matchup, Philly versus Dallas. I got a feeling where we're all leaning right now, but Sam, why don't you go ahead and start? How are you feeling about this game, Philly-Dallas? Who wins and why?
I'm not feeling great, guys, in terms of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm picking the Eagles. Let's go. If I'm picking a score, let's go 28-21 Eagles. And it's simply because of the fact that the Eagles have shown who they are. They've earned it. They're the reigning champs. I think there's a lot of question marks for Dallas, especially on the defensive side. But again, also the offensive side with first-year head coach, Coach Shoddy, calling plays. We'll see how their offensive line looks, if it's improved, the run game. I think their passing attack is going to be the strongest part of this offense.
All right, so Lou, she at least has Dallas covering right now. Can Dallas win this game against Philly?
No. So let's get past that part. I think it's a very close score, what she said. I'm going to say if they really want to run it up, because it's a big championship night there in Philly, 42-14.
42-14, Lou. All of the disrespect of the Dallas Cowboys. Breland, before you, because I know you're ready to flex and everything else.
I'm very big on disrespect.
You are. You're big. That's why we love you, Lou. Breland, here's what's going to happen. You all are going to come out, again, an offseason in which you didn't have a ton of noise out there. The biggest debates that were going on were between Cam Newton and Gilly the Kid out there. Everybody's going to be feeling special. Dallas is going to come out. Dak Prescott going to put it on that Philadelphia Eagles secondary. They're going to score 21 points in the first quarter. They're going up big. But unfortunately, after that, Philly comes all the way back and wins this game 35-31.
Okay, Chad, I do agree with you that there might be a little bit of a slow start because none of the starters have played in the preseason, but no, that's not even remotely happening. I was thinking like a 33-18 type of deal here, but we'll see how it goes, guys. I'm glad everybody is Team Philly today.
So we're all on the Eagles heading into week 1 right here. All right, we'll switch the page here and we'll talk more about the Washington Commanders playing host to the New York Giants. I'm going to get you all's pick'ems on this game in just a moment. I want to talk about the anticipated win spread for this Commanders team, though. You look back to last season as they overachieved, winning 12 games, making it all the way to that NFC Championship game in which Breland's team, I think that, I don't know what was going on, some tomfoolery out there in that NFC Championship game, but 9.5 victories. That is the estimated win total for the Washington Commanders. I have them for 10 in the regular season. Sam, are you taking over or under 9.5 victories for the Washington Commanders?
I think 9.5 is a fair assessment for them, too. I just think, like to your point, they surprised a lot of people last year, made some tweaks on offense, have more depth on that side of the ball as well. And I think Dan Quinn is such a player's coach, and him being the second year now, taking over the helm, I think he'll be more comfortable there. So I think I'd put them right around there. I think that's a fair assessment.
Breland, I have it at 10, but it could go higher than that because the 2 times in which our 2 squads face off, the second and third to last weekends of the season, or third and whatever the math is on that. They played twice in the last 3 weeks of the season. Depending on where the records are at that point in time, if anyone is sitting out starters, that win total could go even higher.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be a 2-team race, really. But Jaden Daniels is really impressive, and I'm excited to see what he brings in year 2. So, yeah, I would agree with you on 10 wins, but potentially a little bit higher, like you said, because of those weird weeks there at the end of the season. So, yeah, I agree with you, Chad. Mark this down. It's rare.
It is rare, Breland. It's rare, but we'll take it where we get it. Lou, a double-gunned question for you right now. Do you believe that the Commanders will win over 9.5 games? And who wins this week as your Giants come here to D.C.?
Yes, I'm going to say 12 for the Commanders. And I think this week's game is going to be close because the Giants' defense is very good. Their pass rush is as good. Now, their secondary is weak. And I think Daniels can take advantage of that. But that pass rush is legit pass rush. So I don't think they're going to blow them out. I don't. It's week 1. I do think the Commanders win. And I think in the end, 12 wins.
I tell you what, Lou, just to pick up on the point that you're making there, prior to last week when Terry McLaurin signed, I said to myself, if McLaurin was not on that field, then the New York Giants were unfortunately going to come here to the nation's capital and going to send the Washington Commanders back to Ashburn with an 0-1 start. I think this New York Giants team is going to be better. You spoke about that defense. If Russell Wilson can just manage the offense and not turn the ball over, I think that defense could have the Giants headed to some 7, maybe in an amazing standard 8 victories this year. But ultimately, I say that now that Terry McLaurin, Noah Brown, Deebo Samuel are in the fray, Washington wins this game. Final score 22-14. They cover and walk away victorious. Breland, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Washington as well here. However, I think, as Lou said, it might be a little bit closer than people think. And I also feel like New York might be just a little teeny bit better than people have them. What is it? What's their projected win total? Like 4? I mean,
5.5, Breland. 5.5.
Yeah. Okay. So just like maybe a teeny bit better. Bump it up to 6, right?
The Giants are going to beat the Eagles at least one time this year. Lou,
I didn't say that.
Tell her, Lou.
No, I'm not going there. What are you, crazy?
My God. All right. So much for the confidence
No,
from Lou on this.
not gonna happen.
All right, fine. Sam, who wins Washington versus who are they playing? The New York Giants this weekend.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with all you guys. I think Washington wins first game at home. Give me Commanders 30-21. I think the Giants, if I read a stat, they haven't been particularly good in recent history. In week ones, they're 3-12 since 2010, something like that. So give me Commanders. I'm excited to see Jaden Daniels and how he builds off of last year's campaign.
Got you. So just to recap right now, it looks like the rest of you are predicting not very close games, all in favor of the Philadelphia Eagles, all in favor of the Washington Commanders. I'm with you. I think that those teams win, but I think that these games are closer than we might believe. I think that the Giants are going to be better. I don't believe that Dallas is going to fall completely on their face, at least not early on in the year. Quickly here, Sam and Bree, since the two of you were not here last week, give me your anticipated win totals for your respective team. We'll start with you, Sam.
I'm going 8-9 for the Cowboys this year. I might have said 9-8 if Micah was still on the squad, but 8-9, that's my prediction.
8-9, two-game spread with Micah not being on the squad. Breland, no way Philadelphia has as good of a season as they did last year.
Well, there is a way. We've seen multiple back-to-back champions before, so that's not happening. But I am confidently going with 12-win season. We'll see more. We'll see less. Who knows? But that's kind of my feel this year is 12.
All right, well, you have it there, and this is NFC Beast, the only show that tackles all of the squads in the NFC East, answering all of the questions that you fans have at home from four insiders who know it the most. You can catch us each and every Wednesday. Be sure to tap on into it this week, next week, and for the whole season. On behalf of our crew, I'm Chad Ricardo, and this is NFC Beast. Great show. Sam and Bree, welcome back. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Nice
you
seeing
guys.
too.
I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. I'm gonna find out right now. But yeah, hopefully we played it off well. Hopefully I answered that question well. I don't even know what happened there in the middle of the show.
Breland, it actually went off without a hitch. Because we had notes, you answered the first question exactly. So we were good.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I was like, I was so panicked. I'm like, guys, help! Like,
No. It was all perfect.
Okay, good.
It was perfect.
Oh, good.
No,
All
you're great.
right. I will see you guys next week. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it. Thanks,
Take
guys.
care.
I
Okay,
appreciate
yep,
you.
bye.
Bye.